that third match down. So almost certainly a meeting with Tan and Tina is the dubious prize for the winners. Tan and Tina, who took down the Finnish Open in Vantaa at the weekend. Here come the Japanese. Obviously a pairing in its infancy as the Hong Kong-China sisters come on court.
Umpires, Cornelius Brother, Germany. Service judge, Commercial, Robertson Martins, Belgium.
Yara, welcome. Arisa, welcome. Thank. Welcome. Arisa, what do you like? The black or the red? The red? All right, the black for you. Red, your choice. Receive. Chiara to receive. We like to serve. Which end do you like? On my left. Enjoy.
So fascinating to watch this partnership in its infancy still between Arisa Igarashi and Shida. It's only their fifth tournament together, and completely disregard that world ranking of 55. Of course, Igarashi with 2 Olympic mixed doubles bronze medals with Watanabe, 4 World Championship medals and 11 World Tour titles with him. Shashi won the India Open in January with Ayako Sakuramoto in the women's doubles. Lost in the semis, this pair, on Saturday in Finland. And Chiharu Shida, of course, who won Olympic bronze in Paris with Nami Matsuyama and a World Championship bronze last year as well, in addition to 12 World Tour titles. And on the other side of the net, pair from Hong Kong, China. Yarting is the older sister, she's 27. Partnership that began some 4 years ago. They won a few international events when they first started playing together. Went out in the quarterfinals of the Arctic Open last week. They were in Paris, they were in the Olympics, but knocked out in the group stage. And this year, quarterfinals only. 5 of them, to be exact, but no further than that. What are your early impressions, Steen, of the Igarashi-Shida new partnership, or newish partnership?
Well, it's going to be interesting because, I mean, from the 2 players alone, their reputation should suggest that it should be a very, very strong combination. But we haven't seen enough of them yet, in my opinion, to make a final decision. So far, they've only lost to 1 international pair. That's Kim Hae-jung and Kong Hee-young. The other 3 losses that they've experienced, that's all been to Iwanaga and Nishi.
Yeah, including on the weekend in Finland.
Yeah. But I must say, I'm surprised that the 2 pairings that they were playing in previously, Igarashi and Shida. I mean, Shida and Matsuyama won the All England, played amazing in my opinion, and Igarashi and Sakuramoto won the India Open. So it looked like those two pairs were going to continue. That's not been the case, and it's big shoes they've got to fill.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Shida and Igarashi, Japan. And on my left, Chong La-Ping and Chong Hui-Lan, Hong Kong, China. Chong Hui-Lan to serve, to Shida. Level. Play.
So here we go. Yeung La-Ting getting us underway in this women's doubles round of 32.
Service over. One love.
And when I say I feel that we've seen too little to make a judgment, it's because they've only we haven't seen them beat pairs inside top 20 yet. Haven't had a chance.
No.
So won't necessarily hold it against them. I'd just love to see how things unfold when it happens. And
I mentioned it's only their fifth tournament together, so it's still an embryonic partnership. That said, you would expect them to progress against the Yeung sisters.
And that's a pair inside top 20 as they're 14th in the moment.
Service over. 1-2.
Long.
Service over. 3-1.
Nice attacking play by Hui-Lan there. Here's Tan Bin Shen, Malaysian-born, now coaching Hong Kong. Quite successful when he was with the Malaysian national team as well.
Service over. 4-2.
Good work there by Igarashi to come cross court. We know that they're speedy, both Shida and Igarashi.
5-2.
So often so effective when you place it right down the middle between your two opponents.
Service fault called too high.
Had a few of those so far today.
3-5.
Drift alongside the court, as we mentioned in the previous match. But just to recap, if we have some new viewers, that the pair in red is playing up against the drift. Yeung and Yeung playing with the drift makes the attacking play a little bit more powerful, but also makes it more difficult to play the rear court of Igarashi and Shida.
And on a similar theme, just to reiterate, if you are just joining us this morning, we don't have Hawkeye in operation today. Hopefully be back tomorrow. So we've gone back to the old-fashioned way where the line judges word and any potential umpire overrule is law. That's 4 or 5, I reckon, they've put out the back now. All the Yeung sisters.
Nice alert by Shida.
3. Service over. 4-10.
Long by a distance, that one from Igarashi. But it's a handy lead, more than handy really, 11-5, mid-game break. We've only played for 6 minutes, and the Japanese already on the front foot.
更快了，他挤上来，我们才有这机会打嘛。发球能够发挥好，接发球应该做好一点，做好然后后面连起来，然后我们才能打进攻。我觉得我们那边打不好，球被动了，然后我们太过给了，耐心一点啊，记得打。
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. (11-5). Play.
One of the things that Tan Binh Chen, the Malaysian coach for the Hong Kong pair, must have talked about is how can they control the shots to the back line. Second time she's faulted Arisa Igarashi.
Absolutely no dissent or quizzical looks from the Japanese pair to the service judge or the umpire. Good to see. Probably helps that they're healthily ahead in this game.
Yeah.
They're just being tactically outthought and outplayed at the moment, aren't they, the Hong Kong-China pair?
I think also judging from the previous mixed double we had that lasted well over an hour, I think the playing conditions, even though there's drift alongside the court, then the playing conditions are to the slow side today. And that means that speed of movement is a huge advantage. That's gone right. Ooh, she played it. And we know that Japanese women's doubles in general, and also these two players here, they have a really, really good defense. So they're sort of presenting themselves strong for the Hong Kong pair. They really got to sort of figure out how can they score points, and it's not so easy. They really have trouble scoring, and if they lift, well, they haven't really found the correct length.
And the body language there of Yeung kind of suggests we don't quite know what to do to change this round.
And I think that's spot on, that they don't really know what to do. Didn't find the length there either.
16-6.
Oi, what kind of serve was that?
17-6.
They look totally disheartened, Yeung and Yeung.
They only played for 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's if someone had asked me before the match, I would have expected a much, much longer match and much longer rallies.
Well, we've seen plenty of occasions when matches have turned around. I think it's probably too late to save the first game, but whether they might be able to do something in the second, we'll have to wait and see. Only 3 points needed now for the opening game on the board for Igarashi and Shida.
That was fantastic. Follow-up from Shida there. Good rotational play. Good counter. Yeah, this time they found the right length.
7-18.
Tried a little bit of patient play, adding some clears to the game. Ting and Puilam, but Japanese pair didn't sort of get intimidated in any way.
So after only 11 minutes on court, 13 game points for the Japanese here. I don't think anyone expected to be quite this one-sided up to this point.
No.
But it has been 21-7 in what seemed like a blink of an eye.
First game won by Aisha, Igarashi, and Shida, 21-7.
对，所以我们打。
Second game, level, play. So it's over.
So will the change of ends perhaps make a difference for Yeung Ting and Yeung Pui Lam? That is the big question, because they were frankly outplayed in the first game by this new combination of Igarashi and Chiharu Shida.
Longest run in the match, I'm sure, here.
Yeah, I agree. And this is a whole different look from the first game, where the pair from Hong Kong could not at all find the back line on the Japanese side. Oh, that's good play. Excellent work.
I was about to ask you what you would like to see the Hong Kong pair do to make this more competitive, but maybe they found at least a way to stretch the Japanese a bit more than they did in the first game.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, these long rallies, they've pretty much been the foundation for the development of Japanese women's doubles. When they first emerged on the world scene, the Japanese women's doubles, they played a very defensive-minded style, sort of using excellent physicality to get the better of their opponent. That has been developed a lot since then, but I just don't think that there's openings in that area. I think they're stronger physically and speed movement-wise than the Hong Kong pair. At least they've got to have some success in their counter-attacking, Yeung and Yeung.
Well, nothing's working for them at the moment, is it, the Yeung sisters?
And just to elaborate on that, which we discussed earlier, that the playing conditions, there's drift in here, but it seems to me like the shuttles are really, really slow. If not from the opening stage, when you take a new shuttle, then it seems like it rather quickly becomes slow, and the feathers fray. And that makes for a more difficult task of putting it away in the attack from either of the sides, actually.
So it's over. 2-5.
Please welcome the technical officials for number 2.
Placement.
Service over.
Arisa Higashino, not Higashino. She used to be Arisa Higashino, but got married to former national player in the Japanese team, Igarashi. After the Olympics.
Well, so far, this second game following a similarly depressive pattern to the first from a Hong Kong-China pair's point of view. Haven't seen too many errors at all from either Igarashi or from Shida.
Service Hong Kong, too high.
That's 3 times now, isn't it?
Service over.
Oh no, that was the Hong
That
Kong
was
pair.
Igarashi.
Yeah. Does show you that the service judge is on the case.
Seems like that service fault call on Yeung affected Chihara Shida.
Coach.
That's good play. Yeah. This is a very telling rally because I felt that the Hong Kong pair, they played some brilliant defense in the early stages. Lifted flat to Igarashi, who fired a smash that it was possible to play counter-attacking on, and they did so, the Hong Kong pair. It was just not enough to put it away. So if you want to win in here in women's doubles, you've got to be prepared to work extremely long rallies.
Yeah, and that previous point they lost was one of the few examples of a rally where they actually had the initiative.
Yeah.
And it hasn't happened often enough, and it didn't happen there.
Service over. 6-10.
Not satisfied with herself there.
Quick foul, please.
Chihara Shida. Body language after missing this drop shot here, the disguised drop shot, trying to gain a little bit of an advantage. Wonder how long that rally was. We are not really getting any statistics on that since Hawkeye is
Service fault
is down.
Too high. Service over. 11-6.
Well,
into
both pairs are coming under the evil eye, if you like, of one of Robertson Martins, the service judge. But what it means is it's the mid-game break, and the Japanese pair with a very healthy 5-point lead, and already a game up.
就很硬，很硬。所以我们能做就是我们要风不动，我们要快，然后后面赶快顶得快，一个一个快。你看。
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds.
可以的。
Coach, return to chairs. Take on court. Eleven, 6. Play.
So Igarashi and Shida trying to finish this match in short order.
Another great rally. When we have these rallies that are longer than we perhaps normally see, the deciding factors are how good a touch do you have in your shots? How much variation do you have? Do you have deceptions? Is that an area where you're stronger than your opponent? And what is your stamina? And what is your speed of movement? Those things become really, really important in terms of deciding these long rallies that we see.
So it's over. 7-12.
And the thing is, if you feel like, I don't really have the stamina, then you start taking chances that you shouldn't take, and you most likely get punished. If you don't have the shots or the touch to control the rallies, then you will play too inaccurate, and you will get behind eventually more and more in the rallies. And the same goes if you're not moving as quick as your opponent. That's brilliant attack from Igarashi and Shida.
13-7.
You wouldn't expect stamina to be an issue yet, though, would you, surely? 26 minutes gone, they're just being kind of outplayed, even in the longer rallies.
That's right, but I mean, right now, the short rallies are not an option for the Hong Kong pair, so they've got to play the long rallies. And then you, after one rally, you feel like, okay, how many good chances did we get? How does it feel? Breathing, are we comfortable with this? And knowing that you're one game behind, she's gone off to change the racket.
Did brilliantly there. Well, Igarashi and Shida went to change her weapon. Igarashi held the fort and did so successfully.
14-7.
There she goes off.
Play. So it's over. 8-14.
Goes down as a casual error from Chiharu Shida. Tried to play it sharp. Not really under any form of pressure.
Haven't been many mistakes, though, from the two women in red.
Oi, oi, oi.
9.
Commentator's curse there, Trevor.
Forget about that. Shouldn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
Almost played it backwards.
over. 15-9.
Number of times the Yeung sisters have looked competitive in a rally, and then an unforced error like that has just ruined all the hard work, really.
Yeah. That's because there's sort of a hope in the judgment as to how big the chance is. And when the shuttles are to the slow side as they are today, then the judgment as to how big the chance is changes. The chances are not as big as they usually are with faster shuttles, and you have to be more careful. So you have to really be careful not outplaying yourself in the first hand.
Service over.
Getting yourself out of balance can be
16.
crucial. Or actually avoiding getting yourself out of balance.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Well defended by Nating.
Service over. 17-10.
Good reactions.
Service over. 11-17. Thank you. Quick time. Thank you. Back on court. Eleven, 17.
Excellent placement.
18-11.
In the armpit of Nating. Sorry, I totally mixed that name up.
I knew what you meant. That's gone long.
Nating.
12-18. Play. Out. Service over.
Well, it never
19,
rains, but it pours for the Yeung sisters, whose participation in this event looks pretty short-lived.
Service over. 13-19.
Brilliant.
Service over.
So 7 match points
20 match point.
for Igarashi and Shida.
Service over. 14-20.
Should be just a stay of execution.
Smash from
20.
Yeung, I think.
Line judge. Thank you. You have it? Back on.
So 2 match points saved, but still 5 remain.
Wow.
That was on the blue carpet nearly, that one.
Yeah.
20.
Do say that sometimes the final hurdle can be the hardest one to clear, but still 4 more chances. And that will do it. Rather an anticlimactic ending in the end. 21-16 in Igarashi and Shida's favour. And to be honest, the Yeung sisters never really got a blow in at any stage in the match.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Match won by R32, Igarashi and Shida.
Won by a big margin, that serve.
21-16.
So the Japanese pair come through very, very comfortably. (21-7), 21-16 in only 37 minutes on court. What a warm welcome back to our continuing coverage of the 2025 Denmark Open. And we have reached our 5th match of the day, and this should be a really exciting one. Men's doubles, Joseph and Nur Izzeddin, number 3 pair in the world, against Ben Lane and Sean Vendy of England, who had what may prove to be a career-changing victory at the weekend when they won their first Super 500 in Finland.